To this week's video, guys. Today we're doing my Valentine's set. I am doing press-ons and I'm using the Apres Gel X tips in natural stiletto long, and this is kind of my inspiration. I took inspiration of those first two pictures, but my main set is coming off of that third picture, and I'm starting off with the Gel X tip prep and just I showed this in my last video, but I'm etching that top part so that the gel adheres a lot better to the top of the tip. Through this prep pretty quickly because I showed my prep in the last video where I did my nails, but I did want to make these a little bit more almond, so I am running out that tip with a hand file and kind of making it a little bit less stiletto. I have the almond medium tips, but they don't fit me quite as well because my natural nail is pretty long. And then I'm going in with the D&D 152 to be my base. Most of these nails have like a French tip going on. I also go in with that second D&D color as my second layer of my natural base color for these sets. Honestly, such the slightest difference. The top set is with the two coats and that bottom set is with just the one coat, but I don't know, to me it did make that little bit of difference. I didn't want it to be too pink, so that's why I didn't want to do two coats of the first color alone, but I didn't want to do two coats of the second color because it was going to be too sheer. On the pinky nail, I'm doing a little aura ombre. I'm using my powdered ombre from Nail Mart USA, I believe. I'm gonna try linking everything down below so you guys can have it. I don't know if they still sell these ombre powders, but you can find things similar to them from S&S Nails, I believe. And then I go ahead and put that in for a 60-second cure. So I put the polish, I sprayed it, and I put it in 60 seconds, and then I took it out and put base coat from Valentino. Just want to make sure we got that full process for that one and how to use ombre powders. I am then taking this PLA color for the ring finger, and on the ring finger I wanted to do the circle art that was shown in the first picture that kind of had like the heart as one of the circles and then a circle on the bottom. So here's me just mapping out my heart because I'm not doing a filled in heart, I'm doing a hollowed out heart. So I wanted to make sure I kind of had an even base. So I kind of did a cross and then I added like little triangles from that cross. And then I connected my two little heart humps to my bottom middle point. I hope that's making sense. I feel like it makes more sense just watching me. But yeah, I felt like this really helped me have a more even heart. And then obviously I just go in and kind of refine the heart and see what sides of the heart need a little bit more lining. And then after that, I haven't cured it yet. I still with wet polish, I'll go ahead and map out my bottom circle and then start refining that as well. Like I said, this is my favorite liner from Tokyo. Now I'm blanking on the name, but like I said, everything will be linked. It's the same liner brush that I used in my last one because it's the only liner brush that I use. It is my favorite nail art brush that I literally use for everything. Do you guys like having these voiceovers, or would you guys like a video where it's kind of just like me working live, where you would hear the sounds of like me working and the salon, I guess, but like I'm not really explaining what I'm doing. You guys are just kind of watching me. I've kind of been into nail art, not nail art. What am I saying? Into like drawing art videos like that, where you kind of just hear the background of the area that the person's drawing in, but they're not explaining what they're doing. I don't know. I thought it'd be something to try out if you guys are interested. But moving on to the middle finger, I'm using this very bright pink color as my base for my French. As I said in the last one, I don't have a rhyme or reason to my French. I just start painting it on and then go from there. I am then doing these little heart cherries, and I'm not just doing a regular heart, I'm kind of swooping in one side, and then on the other side of the heart, I'm gonna swoop it out. So both swoops are going in the same direction, if that makes sense. Like it both C's of the heart are gonna go in the same direction. And then I'm gonna do a second one right next to that. I wanted one heart cherry to be like the main focus, and then one where you can still kind of see it, but is a little bit more to the side. You'd kind of have to turn the nail a little bit more to see it in focus. But I did kind of like having this a little bit off center like this. It was a nice little touch. If I could go back, I would have reminded myself that I did mean to put like a little glaze. I don't think that's the right word, but like to make the little like shine spot on these like cherry hearts, I forgot to add it with white, but I would have liked to add that. I did go in with a darker red to do the stem. It wasn't anything crazy dark. Like it wasn't that much of a difference from the red that I used for the hearts, but I felt like it was just a little bit of a difference where you can decipher from the stem to the cherries. This nail is going to have a little isolated chrome. So after this stem, I go ahead and go in with my Chon Legend matte top coat. And I do try to give it a little bit more of a hefty layering because I want that brush to glaze over the nail when it is a matte top coat. I feel like matte top coats are known for like pulling color. Another way to combat this is going over everything with a base coat and then going over with your matte coat, but that's just extra layers and extra steps I don't want to do. After I do the matte top coat for a full 60-second cure, I go in with 70% alcohol only, not swipe, 70% alcohol and a lint-free wipe, and scrub the alcohol onto that nail or off that nail, whichever one you think. And then I go in with my black polish. I am using Nailsentials Black. It is my favorite black to use for isolated chrome, but as far as I know, they no longer sell this, slash, I don't even know if they're in business anymore. So when I run out my backstock of this black polish, I don't know what polish I'm gonna use for my isolated chrome, but I am just doing a little bow. I tried to make this as dainty of a bow as possible, and once I finish painting it, I put it in for a full 60-second cure. And then I'm using a gold chrome from Amazon, and I accidentally spilled this, so there's a lot of gold chrome around the rim. So I don't even have to open it all the way since this was like a smaller design. I just put a little bit on my finger and then I rubbed it in that way, and then I took a little sponge to wipe off all the excess, and you can see it is a very clean isolation with that method. Next is my index finger. I am using a white polish. I don't think I showed it, but I am using the white polish from Nail Central as well. Another alternative I would recommend is Chon Legend or even V Beauty. I honestly, even PLA's white, I've liked all of those. But it's just basic white French. Like I said, no rhyme or reason to my French. Then I'm going in on the thumb and also adding a French with this really nice, like dark cherry red. I was really thinking about where I wanted to place this color. I try to think about what I want on my thumbs because that is the nail that is going to show up when I'm holding something to take a picture. I hope that's making sense, but yeah, so I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna want the dark red. All these charms I'm putting on right now, I believe I got most of them from Shein. I was going back and forth of what I was gonna put on, but I was like, you know what? Let's go crazy. I'm using my McCart rhinestone glue, throwing on a little bit onto the thumb. I have no rhyme or reason to this thumb other than like the placement of it being like this kind of S, but I'm really just throwing on the chunky charms first, the chunky um pearls, and what would you call that? Like the aura pearlescence kind of charms on there. I'm going from big to small, but I'm really just like placing them on there. I'm trying not to think too much about where I want them until I start going in with these smaller pearls and I also add smaller rhinestones. That's when I really start being like a little bit more particular about where I want each thing to be. And I think in doing it this way, I really liked how this thumb came out. And I am using my Nails by Dev uh rhinestone picker upper wax pen. Man, I'm really bad at these names today, I'll tell you what. But after I am done placing all my gems with my pen, I go in with my light from Apres. It's actually my special new light that I got from the Apres Liquid Death collab. I have been loving it for like these little quick um hello? Am I here? These quick little flash cures. Look how pretty it is. And then I'm going in on the pinky and adding a couple charms onto that aura nail. Again, no rhyme reason, just kind of throwing some on there. This one definitely came from the inspo pic from like that second picture that I showed. Just kind of placing them on. I kind of was going back and forth if I wanted to add like these really pink bubbly charms on there or not, but I'm really glad that I added it onto the pinky. I think it went perfectly. It's kind of funny that I added like these little iridescent ones on there. I haven't used them before, so I was excited to use them on this set, but I didn't even plan on using them on this set until I literally was like just going through my charms, getting my pearls, and then I was like, oh, why don't I use these iridescent ones? I still haven't used them. On my index, I'm going back and adding that McCart rhinestone gel and then adding pearls, my smallest pearls and my smallest rhinestones back and forth. And originally I thought I was gonna add this little pink heart so that the pink heart would tie into the white heart that I put on the thumb. But when I saw it all together before I cured it, to see all the nails side by side and see if they were looking like cohesive, because I feel like these nails were kind of each having like their own personality, but in a way that each personality was meshing together. I hope that's making sense, but right here I felt like no, we need to take this heart off. It was just clashing too much. I didn't need double hearts. So I ended up just finishing the nail of going back in with that like same rhinestone and pearl pattern, and look, it just looks way better. And then I just finished off the ring finger with a little pearl and a little rhinestone, which is kind of what the inspo picture had. It had two rhinestones, but I felt like two rhinestones was just gonna be too much, and I wanted the pearl to kind of tie in with the rest of the set, so I liked it. I felt like it was the perfect touch. These are the color rhinestones in case you guys are wondering, but like I said, everything will be in the description box. And finally, I just top coated these with my Charm Legend top coat, and I'm just showing you here that I did go around all the rhinestones. I didn't show all the nails being top coated, but I wanted to show you the thumb as the example that I went around the rhinestones and the gems and everything with my top coat. I didn't want to go on top of all the charms and everything with my top coat. This is the set, you guys. I hope you loved watching this. I absolutely loved how they came out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.